Your film is going to be releasing on Friday, September 20th.
Okay.
What if it was released a week earlier, Friday the 13th? Would that be auspicious or inauspicious?
No idea. If it were released with Dream Girl, it would have been inauspicious, no? Because Dream Girl had a huge opening. And it's a full moon also.
I really don't.
You don't subscribe to that.
I don't. It's not me trying to emulate the character, but I don't think too much about that. I mean, I'm happy, if there are many big films releasing and.
But Friday the 13th is very, very ominous.
Right, but I don't think I've had.
Some films, no?
In a very sort of, it's a very Western idea, I think.
I don't think it's an Indian thing.
Really. I mean, I haven't had any Friday the 13th experiences of having bad luck on.
Actually, Anand really likes the number 13.
You mentioned it's a Western idea. Cinema, by and large, whether it's Indian or Western,
Right.
The trend has been to use superstition with horror. I think,
Yeah.
they combine it,
Right.
They mix it up. I think yours is the first film that is bringing comedy into superstition.
Oh, lovely.
Comedy and
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, see?
Cool.
I want you to comment on that.
Well, that's thanks to Anuja Chauhan's
You know what?
idea.
Because I think there is humor in it. I mean, some people have some really bizarre superstitions. Like people do, especially when cricket matches are going on. Like how almost every Indian thinks his maybe posture or body language or like habit of being in the room or not in the room or going for a break or all of these are somehow connected to the game, to the progress of the game. So I think that's I mean, everybody loves to laugh at that, even if they secretly believe in it. And during the match, I love that it is all allowed. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody raises an eyebrow, nobody's really like shocked by it or like they don't mock it. These are some superstitions that we are so used to in our culture that we are completely okay with it.
Yeah, you agree with that, Sonam?
I think in general, Indians are superstitious. I think it's like one of those things that is just inherent to our culture. I think we have our beliefs and system, and I believe that hard work is very essential, but at the same time, your destiny, positivity, the vibrations, they all matter.
You said Indians by and large are superstitious. Don't you think we are a nation of myths, traditions, and customs?
I think that's fabulous because I think it makes us very hopeful. I believe in mysticism and I believe in religion and I believe in philosophies and I believe in magic. I think it makes the world a more wonderful place. I think it makes the world, there's hope. It's mysterious. It's magical, Some of my favorite books are fantasy books. One of my favorite authors is Neil Gaiman. I love the fact that, we thought about flying chariots and, burning, I don't know, like chakras and stuff like that. I think it's so cool that the imagination is so wild that there has to be, like, you have to believe it.
You talked about cricketers being superstitious.
Right.
Sachin Tendulkar was one of the most superstitious of them all.
Yeah?
And the fact that he has given a thumbs up to your trailer has been some kind of high for both of you.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Excited,
I was so excited. A lot of the cricketers, right?
Rahul, Sehwag.
Sehwag, yeah.
Everyone.
So they are kind of, it's resonating in their lives as well, the film?
I hope so. Otherwise, why would they tweet?
No, it's nice. I mean, but the cricket is a big part of this film. It's entirely sort of, that is the setting of the film. Like she works in marketing in the film that advertising that caters to the cricket team or based on the cricket. So that's there.
I come for the Pepsi commercial.
Yeah.
It's actually Anuja had written that in the Zoya factor, so we've just brought that into.
Yeah.
What's the Zoya factor in your respective lives?
I keep saying this, and I feel like the more I say it, it doesn't sound as authentic. But I'd probably say my wife. As in, I met her, I signed my first film within the same month, a few weeks of each other.
I would say, like, I have to say my husband Anand, but I would say the name Anand. I think Anand is something that's very important to me as a name. I think my career kind of shifted when Anand Rai cast me in Ranjana. And after that, Anand is one of my favorite films. And when I was doing Neeja, even though Neeja Bhanot herself was an Amitabh Bachchan fan, I obviously am a huge fan of his as well, but I thought Anand was one of my favorite films, and I like the fact that Rajesh Khanna, a lot of his films that he did had to deal with like life and death in a very beautiful way. So I wanted to bring that into Nija with obviously my director, and I discussed it. So it was a very integral part of Nija as well, which is one of the films that is very close to my heart. And then I met my husband Anand around that time, and so my career didn't my career took off because of an Anand, and my love life is beautiful because of an Anand.
Your director Abhishek Sharma says you are his lucky charm purely because you have the capacity of carrying a film alone on your shoulders.
Oh my God.
You agree with that?
I think
I think so, for sure. You've been.
Thanks, DQ. I don't think any film. I think a film is only as good as the content of it. I don't think a film works on any actor or star. There are anomalies like a Salman Khan. Like whatever he touches turns to gold. And he can open any film at any ridiculous number. Then like his dad or Rajnikant, or like there are certain like actors and stars who have that. But I think for our generation and a lot of us, I feel that star hasn't come yet. And I would say that content is a star right now.
Put great faith in the horoscopes that you see in newspapers. Do you read them at all?
Do I?
You're a very typical Leo.
No, I mean, I don't think he's saying I do. He's asking me for it. So,
No, surely you will read them, but do you believe in them?
I feel like until I kind of knew what I wanted to do with my life, I think that's what happens to most people. If you're kind of clueless or if you're not happy with where it's going, then I feel like you start looking into it. But ever since I became an actor and I was busy, I don't think I had the time to sort of dwell on that. And as actors, I don't even think we know our Mondays from our Sundays because I work pretty much every single day. We don't have Sundays off in Malayalam. So
You don't have Sundays off anywhere.
No, there is second Sundays off in Tamil.
In the Hindi film industry also, we have second Sundays off. No way.
I don't know, or whatever. But
While shooting only.
long sketch. What I'm saying, my point being, I only understand dates. So I'm like, tell me 16, 17. Like, don't tell me Monday, Tuesday, I won't get it. So, and there's no like sort of habit of looking at that.
Would you read?
No, I don't read horoscopes in a newspaper, but I do believe that, there's a general like characteristics that are like in Geminis and Leos and like Aquarians and Scorpions.
Yeah, I think those similarities I like to look at.
Yeah, I think that they're
Like,
those.
If I have a friend and I know him, intimately, and like he's a very close friend of mine, and say he's a Cancerian, and if I meet another Cancerian, I automatically think we're going to get along. Like things like that.
Would you backtrack if a cat crossed your path?
I do actually.
You do?
Yeah. So this is my only sort of superstition, I think, because the first time that ever happened to me, I was in America and I was a broke college student, and a bunch of us had rented a car, and I was one driving. And right after this happened, on that same trip, I got a traffic violation ticket, which was a lot of money for me at that time. And none of my friends offered to pay because they're like, "You were driving, it's your mistake." So I'm like, black cat. So every time I see a black cat, if it crosses my road, I will kind of change my route.
Would you walk beneath a ladder?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we all
I think
walk
they're
beneath
very-
ladders on film sets. all the
Yeah,
time.
we're constantly walking under ladders on film sets. And I think these are a lot of Western superstitions. I mean, they are very general superstitions.
Spilling salt.
Yeah, spilling salt. I think salt is actually something that's very auspicious, and it kind of cleanses a lot of things. But I believe,
It'd be quite
yeah,
funny to cross
yeah.
it
But
behind.
I think that can be attributed. But I'm very like Indian in the way I think. So a lot of the Indian mystical qualities like Nazar and Taviz and Kala Tika and saying Naam, like praying.
I think that's what I'd worry about.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Vibrations.
post pictures of my daughter so much. Like I don't show her face so much because I'm scared. Like that's
Yeah,
that.
so it's like vibrations,
So you see, I feel like you can't be Indian and not have
Something.
some influence,
Some quirk.
some quirk, something
Yeah.
that you.
You both are perceived as being fashion icons.
Yeah?
Yeah, me too, man. What the hell?
Yeah.
Wow,
This is my Me Too
Dulquer.
movement.
Surely you must have likes and dislikes. I will not wear this color, this fashion accessory, or whatever else, this dress.
I think I look
Something.
amazing in everything.
She believes this. This is legit like?
It was a joke, okay? I think my sarcasm is usually kind of goes over people's heads.
No, I don't have issues with colors or. I'm very particular about how it fits me, and I'm very particular about sleeve lengths, how my pants are cut, those kind of things. If that is not done, I would be like conscious and not happy, and I don't like anything affecting my sort of ease or confidence. You know, for like doing a media interaction, I feel like I'll be like, if it's too short, I'll be pulling it down. You know, so that I don't like.
Yeah,
But
I don't
I'm,
like
I'm very happy trying any kind of outfit. Any
yeah.
kind of.
I prefer you an Indian.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah.
How aware were you of her cinema before you met her?
Very, for sure. Yeah. I mean,
Don't ask me the question.
I think just having spent when I went to college in America, you know, there's a lot of Indian kids there, and I think what happens is we kind of all miss home. So like you kind of discover a lot more of Indian movies and Indian. So most of my friends were from the north, and obviously like any movie that comes out, we try and watch or something. It's like so I feel like I have that habit of always tracking, you know, movies everywhere. So I was very aware of her work.
And you saw his first Bollywood film?
Karva?
Yeah.
I unfortunately didn't because I was in London at that time.
You watched OK Kanmani?
I watched OK Kanmani because I was offered the Hindi version of it. So I saw that in the cinema. And I thought he was amazing in it. And then my family, like production, we offered him a film. He said no to.
She makes it seem like I've been rejecting her films.
You did? 2 of them.
It wasn't like conducive dates wise. Dude, you guys call me in June and say, hey, we're starting in July, can we shoot?
But that's how we usually
and
work.
What happens, where I
Can't
come
help
from,
it if you're like
I'm
doing 5 films in one time.
Yeah, so I'm committed into 3 to 5 films.
Usually over here we do 1 film at a time.
I just need a little more like leeway.
You both are children of very, very famous actors, superstars, huge superstars. Was it considered natural that you just get into the family business or?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No, in fact, I didn't see it as an option. There was no tradition or like historically in Malayalam there was just no second generation actors. So my parents also kept steering me away from it. My mother was like, that's like a random lottery that happened to your father. It won't happen to you. Please do something sensible.
Superstitious.
Not superstitious. I think she was afraid. You know, because if you have to read some patterns, right? And if you see that nobody's made it, then you don't know like why would you then subject your kids to possible failure? And you know, in films, if you fail spectacularly, like really publicly, you know. So I think as parents, they're a little protective like that.
For me, my mom comes from a very like her father was a banker. Her family is bankers and doctors and engineers. They're all professionals and extremely educated. I come from a Sindhi Yamal family, my mom's side. And my mom just happened to fall in love with a wannabe actor when she was in high school at 15, and she got married to him. And you know, and she was just like, just because I married your father doesn't mean you need to become an actor. And so yeah, and I was a very good student, and you know, they really wanted me to study more. My dad was the opposite. He really wanted me to act.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. And I remember when I was 15 or 16 years old, I was too scared because my mom wanted me to be a writer or like get into economics and do banking. Which, can you imagine me doing that right now?
Maybe as a role.
As a role.
As a character.
And so, you know, so I applied to all these colleges for political science, philosophy and economics, like to all these colleges in the UK and stuff like that. And then I graduated early, like a year earlier than I was supposed to. And Ranbir, who is a good friend of mine, said that he's working on Bajirao Mastani at that time. It wasn't, I think it wasn't black. So he said, why don't you come for pre-production? You know, to assist Sanjay as an internship before you go to college. So I said, sure, why not? And then, so I was like, but you know, let me, I haven't told my dad about it. I haven't told my mom about it because I was too scared. I was like 17. And I just went, he got me a meeting. And I went to meet Sanjay and he had no idea who I was, whatever. I was sitting in his office and I was like shaking. And he came in and he was just like, oh, you've come for the interview. I was like, yeah. So he was like, you've come to act? I was like, no. I want to be your assistant. And he's like, no, but you should act in my next film. And that's how I got cast. And then when I told him who my dad was, he got really scared because he was an assistant director on Vinod Uncle's film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, oh my God, let's think about this.
Hold that thought.
Hold that thought. So that's how I got into acting. And then I told my father, and he was the one who was okay with it. My mom was not okay with it. And she wanted me to study further. She was like, you finish your education and come back. But then I was like, no. That's how my acting happened. Luck by chance. Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
and good luck
Thank
with
you.
the film.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Dulquer Salmaan.
Hi, this is Sonam Kapoor Ahuja
And
and
you're watching us on
peepingmoon.com.